everyone, welcome back to Lucky by Nature. Angelic Vixen here. So in today's video we are going to showcase the gacha. Now I had this one pre-recorded, but I noticed how like OP they were originally, and I waited to put this video out to see if Wildcard was going to nerf them, which they did. So I had to go back in and redo this just to make sure that everything was completely accurate. That's why it took a while for this video, and there's actually going to be a second video coming because there are special mechanics to the gacha that a lot of people don't know about. And because I have to take so much time to explain it, this is a level 1 base stats, just so you know what we're looking at. Because it's going to take a while to explain everything, I have to separate them into 2 different videos because they would just be too long if I included it in the showcase. But you're going to definitely want to see that video because there's a lot of information in there that is very, very important. So this is a more leveled up version. That way you can kind of see what you're dealing with. Crafting skill is very important with the gacha, so keep that in the back of your mind. Now with the gacha saddle, you have to be a level 38. Now these guys, even after the nerf, are still really, really good. And when you see the next video, you'll understand what I mean. Now I don't recommend using these guys to fight. They can, you know, gather things like wood, thatch, stone, and things of that nature. And of course meat if they kill stuff. But they're not the greatest fighters, and they are kind of clunky and slow. And I don't know what you guys think, but did you guys ever see Labyrinth? This guy in the face reminds me of Hoggle. I don't know. It just feels like Wildcard kind of went with the fantasy of like never-ending story, Labyrinth, and all that. At least that's what it reminds me of. Let me know what you guys think. So as you can see here, this is the level 1. But, I mean, they're just not very powerful. I mean, they can fight if they have to. I don't recommend using them for this, but you know, if that's what you level up on yours at a high level, then you know, that is great. But for me personally, I won't use them for this, and most people are using them, you know, for the crystals because you can get some really incredible stuff. Again, I will be going over that in detail. It's gonna be an incredibly detailed video because we tested for like the last several days to find any variances. So definitely keep a lookout for that video. It will be like gacha secret mechanics or gacha mechanics or something like that, where I will go over it in detail. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna name it yet, but you get the gist of it. So as you see here, me and this Stego are going at it, and I'm not really getting anywhere with it at all. I mean, it's just, they're powerful, but they're just not really fighters. They're kind of lovers, not fighters, I guess is how I see it. And you guys asked why we're putting our logo in the corner of every one of our videos now. It's because someone stole our footage and tried to use our footage, and we were like, yeah, no. No, that's not okay. So, yeah, if you guys ever see that and you notice that, like, you could even hear us talking in the background and they still stole our footage, and it wasn't like they were commenting. They were just using it as their own footage. It was mind-blowing, to be honest. But, yeah, so that's why our logo is now visible in all of the footage, because that's not cool. Anyway, so you get the gist of it. They're not really the great fighters that people would hope they would be, maybe because they're so, you know, they look like they would be powerful. So they're also incredibly temperamental. If they're sad, it doesn't matter what you give them. They're not going to produce like they would if they're happy. They actually are very temperamental. They have emotions. Wildcard designed these things with emotions, and when you see the next video, you'll see what I mean. You can actually see it happening. So they're very finicky. Keep that in mind when you're dealing with this, because if they're not, you know, doing their little glowy disco light thing, they're not happy. And if they're not happy, they're not going to produce for you. So I do want to show you the feature of the production here. Sure. Okay. So you can actually set it to specific things, or you can set it to any. So that is another function that you're definitely going to want to know about. Okay, so then they drop their crystals, and all of the crystals vary. We did find, you know, some solid consistency in how that works, and that's something that we definitely want to share with you post nerf, because since the nerf, a lot of things have changed with these guys, and it's really important to know. So I got stone with that one, nothing, you know, super fantastic, but you get the gist of it. You can get some really great stuff, and I will be showing that in a very detailed video later on. Now, I do want to show you over, because I always try to do this. I take them over to the island and put them in water, because Wildcard, of course, said that, you know, there's special mechanics with some of these guys in the water. Well, I wanted to see if you placed it in the water, if it would produce or if it wouldn't produce. It does have oxygen, of course, so that is something to keep in mind if you do take it in water. Oxygen will go down, as you can see there. Some of them do not have oxygen issues and some do, but I feel like it's really imperative, being that a lot of people will transfer these once the transfers are open, and it's important for you to know what will work and what won't work. So I did set this guy kind of like just directly in the water to see if that made any kind of difference whatsoever. And this is going to be very basic. So I put him right there, and he starts to sit down. At first, he's not doing his little glowy disco lights thing because they have to get in a good mood. And again, when I tell you they're temperamental, when I show you the next video, you're going to see it directly. They are incredibly emotional. I forgot I don't have GCM on. I'm so used to having GCM on when I'm over on the island. So as you can see, he's not happy, he or she, I can't remember if I have a female here or male. They're not happy as of yet, but it takes time. Again, they're very emotional, so you have to be very kind to them, because if you're not kind to them, they get pissed off and they're like, no, I am not. It's kind of like a toddler that you're trying to make them eat their vegetables, and they're like, no way. I have a lot of experience in this, but yeah, so, and it's funny because I feel like they sit longer in water than they do on lands. Like over on Extinction, they would sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, but this guy just seems longer than usual. So as you can see here, what's in the inventory, I just want to kind of give you an example. And then he's not doing his glowy, but he did do his little crystal. So again, there's a much more detailed video coming. This is an overview of the gacha because, you know, with console coming online hopefully this week, you guys are going to need to know all this information. And I don't like to make super long videos, so that's why we're trying to, you know, break them up into specifics. So this gave me flint, and I'm just going to keep putting it all back into the gacha because they like different types of food. So we're going to send it all over. And then in time, see, now he's doing his little glowy, and I put it to night just so it's a little easier to see. And I finally put myself into GCM because, you know, I've been doing so many videos, my brain's starting to like spaz out. So now my gacha is happy, and you do want them to glow really bright like this, and as they call it, disco lights. It's very important. The variance, of course, being the types of materials you give them, and if they're happy, you will still get really epic items. They may not be as OP as they were originally before the nerf, but they still are really good, and they're definitely worth having. But there are very key things that you need to know about these guys, because if they get mad at you, they're going to be like, I'm not doing anything. You're not getting anything good out of me. So be on the lookout for that video. I will try to get it out today. If not, it'll go out first thing tomorrow. We have a lot of videos coming out today. We have been working nonstop, and at one point we had 33 videos ready to go, and we only had to make a couple of alterations after the nerf because we weren't going to show anything that was like outrageous, but we wanted to give you as much information as possible, and we still have so much to cover, guys. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are working hard for you guys. We love this experience though, so it is so beneficial and so amazing. But this is how it works. This is just, you know, the overview of the gacha, and that's it for this video. So until next time, keep surviving.
My work saved the human race.